Good afternoon and welcome to the Board of Public Works, July 6, 2020 meeting. Let's all stand and Mr. Barrett will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Frank, you'll come with this invocation, sir?
Let us pray. God, we ask your blessing upon this day and upon this meeting. We ask that you be with the council members, all those who are participating in this Board of Works meeting. We pray a blessing upon the agenda. We ask for wisdom and compassion for the decisions that are before this group. We offer our thoughts and prayers for our community and our community leaders. And we pray, God, that you continue to direct the mayor and to his staff in all that he does. We ask a blessing in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, item A has been canceled, just for your information. That's not going to happen now due to COVID, so they took it off. Item B, I'm sorry, wow, been a while. Roll call.
Brian Daub.
Present.
David Nutty.
Present.
Jim Barrett.
Start over again. Item B.
Number 2.
Bertie McKenna is not going to come.
Number 2.
Man alive, what is wrong with me today? What if I've been on vacation all weekend? I haven't been. You've been on vacation, not me.
Make a motion to approve the minutes last meeting.
Thank you, Dave. We have a motion, a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign.
Okay.
Wow.
Now you can go to
Now I can get back to it. Shoo.
Bring your notes up.
Item B. Bertie McKenna requesting permission to change the date from the Cancer Society luminaries from July 11th to August 15th. Does anybody have any questions with that? It's a simple date change.
Did she understand what you asked her about picking up? Did you?
It's part of the requirements, yes.
Good.
Make a motion to approve the request.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. And Catherine Thomas is coming for the Fayette County Fair Board. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you today?
Good.
I'm here representing Walmart as the Fair Parade sponsor, and I'm requesting allowance of the route for the parade we have chosen. Or actually, we've worked with the police department.
Okay. What was the route for the council? Everyone can hear it.
Okay. The parade will line up at the old D&M lot, north entrance, and we will cross Western Avenue on the 21st. We will left onto Grand Avenue, travel to 27th Street, cross over Park Road, and then to the park entrance. It's the old route that we used last year.
Questions?
What date is that on?
The 23rd, Sunday.
So this Sunday?
No, the 23rd of July.
Okay.
Not what, Brad?
To be honest with you, I'm glad you're taking it back down to Grand.
Yes, I'm thankful.
Yeah.
Last year was crazy.
Yeah. Not saying that, but I live on Grand, so I know a lot of people like to have cookouts, and I think you get a bigger gathering.
Oh yes, it's a big day.
Yeah.
Don't let him fool you. He's just lazy because he doesn't have to go anywhere.
You can just walk outside. And
I actually like Park Road, but that's just me. It was nice. Any questions? Okay.
Motion to approve the request.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you very
Thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you.
I thought that, wasn't the fair canceled?
No.
It's not, we're still gonna have a fair?
Yes.
Oh.
No fireworks, but yes, we're having a fair.
Okay. Anisha, go to requesting permission to conduct parade for BAM Fitness.
Yes. Thank you for seeing me. We wanted to have a parade starting at 10 a.m. on July the 12th. We were going to start at Grandview. I've already spoken with Randy Bolos. He kind of helped direct our plan. We were looking at starting at Grandview School, going south on Grand, crossing over 9th, and ending at BAM Fitness. This was in, we wanted to kind of give some response to our firefighters and police officers, first responders and stuff, just to simply say thank you, so.
Sunday
Yes.
at 10 a.m. Sunday.
Mm-hmm, yes, sir.
Any questions for anybody?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Randy, you got everything worked out that they need to do all this? Okay. Awarding of the community crossing bid, everyone has it in front of them, was Dave O'Mara. Basically, we just need to approve this. The engineers, earning firm looked at it, they approved everything. Oops, wrong copy. So, just need a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Have a motion? And need a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Okay. Approval of resolution 2020-12, termination of the lease agreement. This is a lease agreement for City Hall and the EDG. They carry the primary lease. We need the space primarily. We're out of space and we really need it. And I want to do some things security-wise over here for Rosemary. So it's better for me to get on the other side because I'm more open to our public. So I really want to discuss all the security reasons. Same thing Brad with his security. So we just need to protect this side a little more, but we need the space. So if there's any questions, I can answer those. If not, we need a motion. And it's 6 months. I have to give them 6 months, by the way. It's not like it's tomorrow. And they've got a building, so they have 6 months.
I'll make a motion to approve the mayor's request.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. David, we'll get with you after this and we'll get draft out.
Okay, I'll go ahead and write a letter then to them and
Yep.
Write
Okay.
a letter to them.
Yes.
advising them that the
Per the contract.
6 months termination notice was approved by this board today.
Well, they know it already, though.
Yes, they know, but still,
Okay.
we want to
I
write a
just
letter.
think I don't have I'm getting a copy of the lease after the meeting, but it's usually required that be done in writing.
Yeah. Okay, where are we? Department matters, Brad. Hello?
Afternoon.
I got two trash approvals for you. You should have those, one at New Life Ministries on Wayne Avenue and the other at 2024 North Park Road.
Make a motion to approve the request.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried.
Next thing is, we're gonna approve this proposal. We're gonna do a chemical trial. I talked to you, I think, at the last meeting about phosphorus removal that's coming in the future limits at the wastewater plant. This is a pretty involved study that will be done over 3 weeks, testing 2 different chemical options. And the biggest part of the cost for this is for the chemicals. And this will be the most, it will be, hopefully it'll be less if they don't use the full totes, all our chemicals, they can send them back, so.
So we can approve up to this amount?
Yeah, this would be no more than this amount here.
Are you talking
Not
about
to
the
exceed.
88 or the 87?
Or both together.
Both?
Those are 2 different chemical trials,
Oh, okay,
so you would add that number together
okay.
to get your total possible cost, but we don't really expect it to cost that much. That is the most difficult.
Both of these test for different things, or is there one test?
These are 2 different chemicals that are options, and they want to see which one reacts the best with our process.
Okay.
Creates the least amount of sludge.
This is actually a requirement that's all over the state of Indiana. Connersville's just jumping ahead, trying to make sure they're ready when required to.
And we have 3 years to implement it. We're just trying to get ahead of it because we still got to install some things to do it. So,
This is all third party, none of our people are involved with the testing or anything.
yeah, we will
We
have
do more?
some.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's good, that's what.
they bring in all the stuff and set it up. There are some things that we'll be tweaking at their direction.
Good. Any other questions?
Motion to approve Brad's request.
My second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you, sir.
The next thing I have is, we've been working on this proposal for Baker Tilly. We've been looking at our software that we use for billing and budgeting and all kinds of different things at the office. Our work orders are all within different components of the software. When we make a software decision, as Dave knows, it's about a 10-year decision. When you make this, you're kind of committed into the future. So we want Baker Tilly to help. They had originally proposed about a $60,000 project, and we've been working on getting it cut down to a reasonable level. And I think with the hours that we have in this proposal, they will be extremely helpful to us. We could evaluate all these things and have people come in and make sales calls for us, but we don't have if we did, I think we would be more inclined to just stay with what we have, and I would at least like to look at other options and find out who's got the best stuff, and that's what they will bring to us as options. So I think, based on the fact that this is probably, over the next 10 years, we'll probably spend $100,000 on this software with maintenance and things, it's well worth this money up front to make sure we get the right stuff.
This is not just a database or spreadsheet, this is pretty technical.
Yeah.
So having people with that knowledge is important.
Yep.
And also taking it to the next level where you're interactive on the web, design, web page, just upgrading everything and making sure everything integrates together.
Do you have employees that will monitor this, or is it gonna be?
This will mainly be working with Cindy, who
Okay.
is mostly in control of our billing software. There's a couple other employees involved, but yeah, she will be and if we didn't do this, then she would be trying to evaluate all this, and she doesn't have time the way it is already to do it, so.
Are your work orders and shop orders involved in this, or this just, is
This would involve all components of our office work.
good idea?
How, except, say if another department decides to be able to update their software, how compatible will this one be with?
Well, our software at the utilities begins with the billing. The billing is the major portion of what's so important to us. And, each office makes its own decision about their software. This is just us trying to make sure we make the right one.
You're not gonna find, are you talking about having software for all departments match one?
I know we've all talked about interlinking everything, eventually one time, whether it's now or 20 years from now.
Yeah, but utilities, how do I explain this? I sit through their meetings. Utilities is such a specific they have specific needs that no one builds an all-inclusive software. I've talked with people who do streets, and they even have streets are even separate from the fire and EMA. Everything is, no one builds an all-inclusive. They all have their own division, but they are so detailed, especially the regulatory stuff, that theirs is very specific and very detailed.
And again, the proposal's for $25,044, but we may not reach this level. That's a maximum number. If we get in you can see the hourly charges for each. Most of the hours for this project will be at the staff consultant level.
Yeah.
So,
He bantered with them pretty good too.
Yeah.
So
Well, if you were talking about all that you're going to do, if it starts with the billing, but that means the customers, and every relationship you have with the customer, where they moved or changed names or addresses, or if that address has had service calls, just keeps linking and linking and linking. So that's why Baker Tilly will assist in really honing this down for them and giving them the best advice.
Make a motion to approve Brad's request.
we have a motion
Second?
and a second. Whoever got it first. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you, sir.
the proposal that I sent you that wasn't on the agenda, but this is a more sensitive nature, and I didn't want to wait. I want to keep it moving. We'll get I was hoping they'd have a contract proposal that I could bring you today, but if you can approve this, we can go ahead and get you to sign the contract when it gets here, but we, working with the fire department, did some determinations at the high school and decided that we really need some more water up there on the hill. So, I wanna upsize that booster station or link the main in on the east side of the road that's not connected to the high school property right now. But either way, this will explore those options and decide which is the best one, because we want to try to have that new. We're hoping that we can add to the present lift station and not just abandon it, just boost it with something that sits beside it, but we're constricted on space. So we're just gonna, this will look at the options and then we'll decide what to do and keep moving forward to get that problem fixed up there.
That was a modular unit, it was built and then set into place.
Yeah.
So
It limits us a
It
little
limits-
on growth inside that station.
very much so, yeah.
We'll probably have to set another one, I'm hoping that we set another one beside it, but T into that.
Do you think you would consider the same company with the booster station, or do you know, that's too far in advance?
On
Yeah.
engineering, probably, just because we're already kinda up and running with Stream, and I don't wanna mess around, I wanna get this one done as quick as possible.
Kinda need to. on
But
that
I'll
one.
come back to you with the design engineering with the options and everything before we do that.
Will you have to do anything with Third Street booster station?
I don't know, that's part of what we're looking at,
Okay,
yeah.
because it supplies both Gray Road and,
Not to get too technical, but we were thinking about maybe just tying the main end around on Shawnee to boost the pressure out there. But because it's on the hillside, you have check valve issues and things.
yeah. Again, not getting too technical, but I was gonna ask you about Shawnee, because the report says that everything comes off of the Gray Road booster station, which,
Not everything, but
yeah.
for a fire, the majority of your water's coming through
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
I think $9,500 is a very good price for all that they propose to do. I'd make a motion to accept this proposal.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you, sir.
I wanted to tell you that our long-term control plan has 5-year periodic update that we have to do, it was just approved. The review took a long time because they had a lot of questions. We made a lot of changes in the long-term control plan, the overall general idea of how it would operate. And they had some questions about our flow modeling and different things, but we came to a conclusion on it. And you probably saw that letter that approved it, so I just kinda wanted to let you know that we've got another 5 years to. Most of the improvements within the long-term control plan happen by 2030. $26 million worth of stuff that we have to do by then, so just keeping you updated. Just to tell you, they extended the date, the governor at the very last minute extended the date, not allowing us to shut anybody's water off. That was supposed to come to an end on July 1st, and he extended it to August 14th. So, anybody that's in arrears or has a bill, please be calling us and trying to make payment arrangements. The governor said the main reason he did it was to give people time to try to get their bills in order and everything, so we wouldn't have to shut them off. And we want to work with people. We've extended the length of time we allow people to make payments.
Have you sent them letters notifying them
Yeah,
that they need
over
it?
and over. Yeah, there's, I think, a couple of dozen people that haven't paid a bill since it started. Most people have been at least trying to make payments on it, so they're in a little bit decent shape. But some of those bills are getting up to $800 or $900 now. So anybody that hasn't talked to us, please give us a call so we can try to work something together so you don't end up getting shut off. And then the last thing is, I think it was on the agenda that we would discuss the trash truck situation. We've got, can you remember how old our newest trash truck is? When was it we bought that? Has it been like 3 years?
That was under,
16, 17.
that wasn't that under
Harold did that.
Was that in Harold? I thought it was-
Yes,
Harold
The
did it.
newer one is.
Oh, the newest one, okay.
Well, anyway,
I think it's 17.
the idea is that you should have two trucks and you should rotate them in and out. Well, we've never done that, we've always used one. So that first auto car truck that we bought, they wore it out in about 5 years because it was used every day. Now we have this other truck that's at least 2 years old, probably closer to 3, that's getting in the same shape. And if we don't do something about getting a backup truck, we're gonna wear that one out, and we're gonna need another brand new one at $300,000 to $400,000. So, we sent the old arm truck that is flat wore out really, to get checked out, evaluated for a refurbish. And so far, that's about $50,000, and that doesn't cover a few of the things that I know are still wrong with it electrically, in the electrical system, so. I just kinda wanted to kick it around with you guys today to see what you wanna do. We could go buy another used truck, but then we might be buying a lot of the same problems we're gonna fix on this old one of ours. The $51,000 includes a $31,000 cost for a whole new arm. They just wanted to buy a whole new arm for it, not rebuild it. So I think the mayor and I were kicking around that we might go up there and go through this quote with them.
Oh, well, we're definitely going through the quote with them line by line, but I'll be up there Wednesday for a training anyway. So I'll be right around the corner from them, so I want to swing back and talk to them. I just want to make sure, I just want to go through it line by line to make sure, is it truly needed or is it just not truly needed? Because I've taken trucks for rehab before from the manufacturer for dealers, and there's a lot of stuff that come back and, well, the switch was faded, so it needed replaced. Well, the switch worked good, it was just faded a little bit, no need to replace it. But there's a lot of things like that could be the possibility. That arm, is it why did it wear out so fast is going to be my question. And you know, bushings are one thing, but if the bushings have wore out, then it's wobbled so much that you can't rebush it and repack it. That's a different issue. I like to see
Right
that
now,
way.
we've got one truck. If it goes down, we have to rent one, and they're $8,000 a month.
8,000, and we had it go down actually. So we were kind of in a panic mode last Monday, big panic mode last Monday actually, and we rolled a Band-Aid to get it going. So the problem is that truck has not been taken out for service either. So we're facing the same situation if we don't get the second truck to rotate them out for service. But I do have a lot of questions. I want to go up there and just question them and grill them.
Are we doing any kind of service on it on Saturdays? Have we looked at options of having it serviced?
Servicing the new one?
Yes.
We have, yeah, we have some.
You can't get it done in a day.
Up
Oh.
until right now, we've sort of been able to use that backup maybe a day at a time, but it's got so many issues with the arm that they can't pick up as many cans with it. It just moves a lot slower because it's wore out.
Let me ask a couple things, may even be related. One is, what do you do to make sure you don't get in this spot again? And two, how can we buy, I guess it was new 3 years ago, right? We didn't buy a used.
It was a new one, but I believe it was a demo, that it was a year old.
But it lasted 3 years?
It's still lasting. I'm not
It's-
saying it's completely done, but if we keep using it day after day.
It just needs some
without-
PM done.
Without the maintenance and the service, everything's got to have maintenance.
And servicing it is really a several-day job because first thing it needs to be done is cleaned well. Well, that, you can spend a good half or 3/4 of the day just cleaning it up before you can really get in there and work on it. So if we had another backup where we could rotate it in, you know, like a week out of 4, that's what we need. But it's gonna cost some pretty good money, I'd say at least. Even if we can eliminate some things out of that quote, we're talking somewhere around 50 probably to do everything. We gotta get the air conditioning fixed. That wasn't included in the quote.
Yeah, with all with all the electrical equipment and running, it gets hot.
What year is that one? You know,
I think we bought it in 17, so it makes it a 16.
You're talking about the older one?
the old one.
It's like a 2009,
Auto car.
8.
Eight, I
It's when we
think.
first started with all the toters, right?
Yes.
Chassis is good on it. I mean, it's a good chassis.
They looked at the frame real good.
You know, they looked at everything.
So hopefully we have a good number of exactly what it will cost.
What's the other, when you said 51,000, 30 of it pretty much is for the arm, what's the
Arm.
Just different things. A lot of it was like rebuilding the metal, like in the body bed.
The
And
rollers and the whatever packs and all that's just worn thin.
switches, a lot of different stuff.
So I think the metal was worn thin a lot of places in the packer with it. So just issues like that.
Well, in my opinion, as long as the frame's good and the hydraulics are good, you know, I mean, that's the two biggest components on the truck. So, I mean, better to spend 50,000 than to spend 300,000 next year, or to get into a pickle where we're into several $1,000s running one.
My biggest worry about this is that we send it up there, spend $50,000, and it comes back and something else is wrong with it they didn't find in the assessment.
But that's the
You had-
chances you're gonna take with anything.
And we had two different views on it. I mean, is there somebody else that's looking at it too? And
Not yet.
Well, they're the manufacturer, right?
We bought that. Did we buy the first truck from?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
we did buy it from Best Equipment. It's an auto car. So they're the company rep for
I
that
would-
truck. The old one.
I would think that'd be the place to go.
So are we gonna get approval to spend up to $55,000 to have this repaired? That way we don't, have to wait 2 more weeks to
I'd make
have
that
their
motion.
approval.
I would make that
I
motion.
think we need to have a separate set of eyes on it too. Somebody else can look over it and at least to be able to see. I mean,
I don't know they have that much time.
do we have that much time?
It's going back to, you're using the rep in the company.
Right.
Best,
Yeah, but AutoCar's no longer in business, so how hard is it gonna start?
but
getting
they're the
big
ones
orders?
they're the ones that have, serviced them
Service.
since '08, so they're the best ones to know.
I don't think any of the packing equipment comes from Auto Car.
There's other packing equipment out there that, you know, you could
We used to go
replace
back
it,
to
and if they
them
think
specifically.
that's the best thing to do, they would probably recommend that.
I make a motion.
But, David made a motion to approve up to $55,000 to have this fixed. If that, I mean, if it,
If it takes more, they'll come back.
yeah,
We'll try to work it down.
Did I mention that I don't have enough in my budget to pay for this?
That's what Rose and I were discussing this morning.
Okay.
I would find that money.
Any other questions? No, hold on, I didn't finish. We had a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. And just motion carried, but by the way, even on the way up there, it broke down on us. Well, he had to pull over and fix it on the way up, so
I'm not
it's bad
disputing-
shape.
I'm not disputing it, trying to get it fixed. or
No, I
anything.
know what you're saying,
Yeah,
but
and, well, they can ask that question too, when they're up there going line by line
I
through
will
their
ask all the
repair.
questions.
It's like, would it be better to just take this off and put a new one on there?
Yeah.
I mean,
We will
there's,
ask all
the
those.
options are unlimited, but
I don't even
this
know where
way-
the next trash handling truck would be. It's up in Fort Wayne probably.
That's the best way for
Different
Fort Wayne
brands, you
too.
mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you can buy them. There's a couple places. There's one up at Whiteland. Jack Doheny sells them, but they're not.
Doheny, that's right.
Not those kind of trucks.
Okay, we'll ask. We'll ask a bunch of questions. There's no question about it. Scott, you want to come up?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, Scott.
I believe all of you are aware that I've been looking for some new software for the last several months. We've tried out a few. Does everyone have both the quotes? The ESO quote is the one that I would prefer to go to. I contacted a couple chiefs in the area. One uses one uses the other. I got good reviews on the ESO, and also that is the same company that we're using now, so it would be a more smooth transition, the data transfer and everything. Not only that, the software we're using now, we've been using since I think 01 or 02, and it's nearing its end of life, 2021. And I also, it has old fire code in it, and I need that upgraded, so there's no sense in spending money upgrading the fire code in that software when it's gonna be outdated, so. I would prefer to get that software. The quote for the first year is $10,425, just to get everything up and going, everything transferred and set up, and then the recurring fee after that, year to year, would be $88.75. Currently, the old software we have now, I think, was $1,100 a year, and they said that we will get credit for half of that because I already made that payment. So, I mean, we're looking at maybe getting $500 credit towards that if I was to go that route, but.
So what's the years after that? You say first year is 10.
Yeah, the first year's 10,425, and on the second page, it's 8875. And I would have to obviously
David.
add that to my budget.
Oh, let's see, yeah.
And then that, you know, that just gives us so many more capabilities to do so many more things out in the field, inspections, investigations, you know, having mobile devices, being able to, you know, do a lot more things with it.
So your other quote, is it 3,000 less?
Well, if you
And
look,
what makes the difference?
they didn't add, yeah, if you look in the optional items underneath, I highlighted them, but it probably didn't come through when Diana made copies.
Correct.
On the image trim quote, in optional items, the first two line items will be included because that's what's included in the other quote. So if you add those together, the 1,500 and the 1,000 for inspections and investigations, you would be looking at 10,161.50 for the first year. So it's within $300 of the other software. So they just didn't add those options in that I need.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And your guys are already familiar with ESO, right?
Well, they're familiar with Firehouse, ESO bought Firehouse, and just revamped it. And it's, like I said, it's all, I think last time I told you, it's all web-based. You can access it on any device. I applied for a grant to get several tough tablets to be able to put on my, at my stations, and then myself to be able to go out and do inspections. And you can access it anywhere. We'd be able to get rid of our server downtown, which we have trouble with all the time. So, and then, you know, if that server was to go down, and, you know, Mike, the IT guy, said that's several thousand to replace that too, so we wouldn't have that.
Well, then Mike also uploads stuff.
Oh, yeah, he has to go in there monthly and upload all of our runs to the state, and this is all done automatically. We don't have to worry about it, so. It's, you know,
A free
a lot of
Mike
departments,
upload.
a lot of departments are using these. Shelbyville uses ESO and they like it. I talked to their chief.
Do you have a fund for this equipment to take that out of?
I
How do they get
will, I actually went to Chad and Rosemary trying to see if we could find some money because I was a little bit reluctant about trying to squeeze it out of my current budget.
He does have some in his, that we will be able to take it from his budget. I'll just have to move it.
Will be sufficient amount?
Yes.
What about year after year?
I will actually, I'll add a line item so we can have a software line item.
It's good.
That would be good. We had also, Troy bought a scheduling software last summer, and we just now got it up and going and are learning it. And this ESO that I would like to go to has a scheduling module, but I left it out because we have this one. The ESO's scheduling module is half the price of the one we're using now, but I'm gonna look at it and see. You know, the guys would kill me if I make them learn another one here in another year, but they're just now learning this one and getting used to this one. But you know, $1,500 savings if it's capable of doing what I want it to do. But so, any other questions on that?
Motion to approve the chief's request.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion,
I have,
any opposed, same sign.
sorry.
Almost got it out.
Sorry.
Motion carried. Now you can talk.
One other thing that just come up, I replaced a lawnmower at Station 3 last Thursday because the one they had up there said it would overheat and go down. There's like 19-year-old mowers. I don't know if I was gonna request to see if John could put the old one on eBay for like $50 or something like that. I don't know if that's something I
Would it
can.
go to the auction maybe?
Well,
I don't
we
have
already
it. I don't
had
have
the
it.
auctions, and
I
it'll
don't
be a
have any
while
place to
before
put
we.
it right now, really, either.
No place to store it there.
Brad, you sold stuff on eBay through the utilities, right?
We have in the past.
So we know we can do that.
I mean, the small ticket items is
It's not
okay.
gonna bring much, so.
All right. I'm good with that.
Right, let's go ahead and put it in a motion.
Yep, do we need
Okay, so
a motion and a second? All in favor to post the lawnmower on eBay? Signify by saying
David.
aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Mr. Clint? Congratulations, by the way,
Thank you.
new daddy.
So if I bungle anything here, it'll be because of lack of sleep, but this should be pretty cut and dry. First of all, I'm not asking for money, so everybody can agree.
Nice.
So,
Good, but you're not getting it.
yeah, well, all right, you should have a letter. I've got two people who are retiring. Got Brian Williams, been an EMT with us for, he got his 20 years. And Chuck Nobby, Charles is his official name, so it's just on the paperwork, but everybody's like, who? Chuck. So he's got 20 plus years. So they both have retired. Right now they're using up some of their days. I do not have exactly who I want to hire just yet. Put in there that I've still got a little bit of a vetting process that I'm going through, and should have names for you at the next meeting to replace these two.
A question.
Yes.
Both these EMTs or EM paramedic?
Both of them are EMTs.
Okay. And you say you're looking at your pool,
Yes.
and in your pool, is it basically just EMTs or?
It can be both. The problem is right now, I'm really low on part-time paramedics.
Yes.
But so is everyone. The state said last year that at one point in time, there's 600 open paramedic positions in the state of Indiana. So we're taking that hit as well as everybody else. So, yeah, my part-time pool of paramedics is pretty slim. But both of these are EMTs, and we do have a decent pool of EMTs right now to hire from.
So until filled, do probably some overtime up there.
Mainly part-time, because we
Great.
hire from our part-time pool. So, our part-time pool is kind of dwindled because we keep hiring from it. There's, and I don't know why right now, but even the EMTs are kind of hard to get. There's some classes that are finishing up now. The students are doing ride time with us. I've told everybody, tell me what you think. And so we're kind of using their ride time as a vetting process too. So the ones we like, we're reaching out to, saying, hey, if you want to apply with us. But it's a good chance to kind of see them in action. I mean, they're scared to death. It's their very first time out there, but it's still, you can tell if someone's going to be a take charge kind of person, or they're going to hide behind you type of person. So, but that's what we're doing now that the classes are doing clinicals again post-COVID, or post, massive COVID, I guess. So we're hopefully going to beef up our part-time roster, yeah. So we don't hopefully not pay a huge amount of overtime, so.
Glenn, is Chuck O'Brien interested in being a part-timer after
They're
that, or?
both staying on as part-time for right now. Whether they will continue, I don't know, but I've left that option open to them. We're allotted by contract up to 15, and I'm not anywhere close to that, so I can leave them on there. It's not a problem. And sometimes you guys will say yes, they want to, and then they'll figure out. Well, I had one, Karen Lee, earlier in the year, had wanted to stay on part-time, and after she retired, she called me one day and she's like, I'm done. She's like, I'm at a good spot. I thought I would miss it. I don't. She's like, I'm ready to walk away. It's up to you. So you have that factor. Sometimes they want to keep their foot in the door, and then afterwards they're like, I just need a clean break. So Brian, his new job that he took will have some seasonal fluctuations, so he may come back and work for us on when he can, based on seasons and weather and that sort of thing. So.
I'll make a motion, Mayor, that we approve the chief's request for retirement of these two individuals. Thank you for their service.
Yes, thank you.
We have a motion, did you say?
I did.
Okay, we have a second for the approval of retirement of Charles, it's hard to say Charles Nobby, and Brian Williams.
It's hard to
What's
say.
known as Chuck. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. And congratulations to
So if
both
we didn't
Charles and
approve
Brian, and tell them thank you for the years of service to our community.
Will do.
I've known Chuck a long time, it's gonna be hard not seeing him
You
there.
can tell Chuck we didn't approve it, he has to stay.
Well, I could do that, but he's still around. He's
Yeah.
still around, so you'll still see him.
We appreciate him,
Hey, Randy?
and Brian too.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
With the hiring of our newest police officer, Ryan Moorfield, and issues that we've been having with some of our older vehicles, we're now into our pool cars. So I reached out to you guys after doing some research from the same company that we've ordered several other cars from. They were limited in the vehicles that they had. And we looked at the 2019 Dodge Durangos, and they all had less than 3,000 miles on them, but they were real limited, so I reached out to you guys and for your consideration of purchasing one of these. Do you have any questions about the memorandum that's in front of you? That includes the shipping price to get shipped here. Doesn't have equipment on it, but the type of equipment we're putting in there will still be way cheaper than a brand new 2020. Our state bids though, with the unequipped Dodge Durango was about $32,000. So this one had roughly 22,000 miles on it. So
Did you say this doesn't have any equipment in it?
no police equipment.
No police equipment? You're taking it out of another vehicle, you're buying new equipment?
Some, a little bit of both.
Okay.
We got a lot of equipment downstairs, and we'll try to salvage what's salvageable. But other than that, we won't use too much of that. So,
Are they gonna be able to get it here?
pardon me?
Are they gonna be able to get it here? Shipping company?
Yeah. It's
Okay, I
in the
didn't know with
process.
COVID if it was going, with the increase, if it was gonna hinder them getting it here or not.
Yeah, they haven't indicated any issues
Okay.
about delivery.
And you've already got money set back for this, right?
Correct.
Yeah. This was
Is
good
this-
budget.
Does this take you to an even keel with patrolmen and vehicles? I mean, you still got a couple pool cars, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
right. But we're into the pool cars right now, so, you know, we're short of vehicles, so that's why I'm trying to get this one now, so.
Is it four-wheel,
All wheel.
all-wheel?
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Motion to approve the chief's request.
I'll second
We
it.
have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, chief.
Okay, any old business?
I'm sorry.
Need some caffeine, Rosemary?
Yes, I do.
Any old business? If there's none, we'll move on to some miscellaneous business. Can you bring up the pictures of the GIS on TV? I don't really need a motion or anything, I just asking for some input here. This will be a council decision, but I want you guys to, for some involvement.
You guys need to stop that. Yelling at- Jeez.
That's why I brought my coffee in here.
Thanks.
Okay, you can see, Justin, put your, you won't be able to highlight it because it's a road, but you should see that little easement right there? Is that Regency?
Yes.
Okay, coming off of Regency, we've been approached by one of the landowners there about purchasing that strip that goes back to the field, and the airport owns that field back there. And I've talked to the airport, they didn't even know they owned it, to tell you the truth.
The field?
No, the easement.
Oh,
I believe the easement was put in there when they did the development for future development. If anything goes back in there, the best way is not through this development. But in order to sell that land, we have to do the formal process. Neighbors will be notified, and they both get opportunity to bid on it. But we just got to go through the process. But I want to bring this to your attention just in case there's something we might have missed. We don't want to sell something if we don't want to. But
Is there any tiles that go through that?
no, there's absolutely nothing there. There's a phone cable through there.
and they didn't extend any utilities back to the back of that or anything?
No utilities back there. So if that ground's ever developed, the best way would come off Park Road, not Park Road, one, mercy sakes, I am out of it today, to get back, and there is a design for that road. I don't know where I saw the design, I don't know where it exists. I spoke to several members of the park board, and even some old members to see what was it for, but I even knew they owned it, so, they didn't see any problem with going ahead and selling it, but
So it goes to public bid, or what is it, what do you do?
I'm not for sure the exact process, Dave. We were working on that. There was some confusion. We were trying to figure it out.
Well, has it, it just depends on what its assessed value is.
Yeah, so-
That determines the process. If it's assessed, I can't remember the numbers, over a certain,
What I'm going
then
to
it
ask,
has to be appraised. If it's,
what I was going to ask council tonight was to proceed with pursuing with the process, but I want to run it by you guys too, to see is there something that you knew about of the why it was there, or if something we need to hold on to it for. So far, no one even knows why we have it, other than
Well,
future development.
right, I'm sure that was the original intent when Charlie owned all that property.
That was my guess, and I did not
Is
reach
it-
out to Charlie.
Is it too small to build a home on?
He's wanting to build a garage. Oh yeah, it's too small to build a home on.
Okay,
The neighbor there to the Mr. Rogers has been mowing it, maintaining it. He's wanting to build a bigger garage there, so he's one that actually brought to my attention if he would be interested in selling it. But I just want to get anyone's input.
and they don't have any covenants that says you can't put a garage only on property or anything?
Not that I'm aware of. That would be, I don't know if there's any covenants that there's not an association in there, so
Well, a lot of times on the drawings.
I'd have to find out. That'd be up to them,
Yep.
not me.
What housing addition is that?
Town North.
Town North?
Down north. And then Justin, the other one is the 58 acres across from, where is it? Yep, right there. We own 58, almost 59 acres up there. The problem with that is, there's a pipeline that runs right diagonally through the middle of it, and the other problem is about halfway, not quite south, is all in floodplain. I don't really know why it's in floodplain. I've never seen that creek at flood, but it's in floodplain, so it's going to affect anyone from building there. We own, I think, was it Max Ellison was when we bought this? So that was early 2000s. And we can't get any hits on it, obviously, with the pipeline and that. So I went back to the riverboat, which is where we got the grant money from, because they said it was for a tech center. You know, it was very specific, and I just asked them. I said, "Look, we've had this from whenever, and it's a tech center, but obviously we can't develop it." So I explained the pipeline. I explained everything. I said, "Can we sell this to purchase other developable ground, something we can do more development with?" And they were all in favor of it. They said fine. They signed off on it, so we're good to go. So coming back wise, it's hard to sell ground that you purchase with grant money, but they gave us approval because we're going to buy other ground with it. And I told them I'd stay up to date on everything we do, so they know every transaction that's been made. But they really weren't concerned about it, so they were surprised we called them. But I want to make sure we get their favor before we do anything.
How many acres is there, 58?
58 point
0.8.
something, almost 59 acres, something like that. Is that
58.8.
eight?
There's at least 3 or 4 acres they can't use.
Oh yeah, because of the tree in the creek. So
Isn't that
This,
sorry, go ahead.
the southernmost part of that property along 400 North,
450.
450, thank you, 450 North. Whatever you do with this property, I'd like to make sure that there is a utility right-of-way or easement, whichever it might be called, because there is a 16-inch main and a fire hydrant that ends at that intersection. And in case water ever is requested on out to Irish Acres and Dungrazen, they could put it through there without having to buy additional right-of-way.
oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Because
That's
it
good to know.
stops at that, if you look at the county road there
Yeah.
to the south, you see where the intersection is. But there's a fire hydrant right at the intersection of 1 and 450.
Okay.
and a 16-inch main.
Is it that where they, first time when they bought that land, didn't they bring water to that point?
Yeah, they brought water to that point. The original idea was taken on up into the property, major part of the property, but not having a true buyer yet, they didn't want to pay the extra money for all the studies and going through DNR to cross that creek. Because that was going to be pretty involved, so they just stopped right there at the intersection. And anyone that goes up there, they'll see a fire hydrant sitting there.
I see.
I always thought that would be a good place for a bulk water station.
Well, it's floodplain, so. The third property, I didn't bring Justin up, it's no big deal, it's the old EMS building. Right now, kinda using it for storage, but Clint, do you have everything out of there? I think, from last time I checked, a little bit. I just want some input on this, be thinking about that as well. My original intent was I was trying to keep it for potential Western Avenue. If we could do something different, it'd make a great, if you tore the building down, it's a great truck access. But in reality, I don't know if that's that important or not, because it's not that hard just to go down and loop right back around. I was gonna go speak with Stance and Howden and different companies back in there to see what main route they're taking in, if it'd be a benefit or not. I don't know if I can actually see a benefit of doing that right now or not. Because you just gotta go up, it's just one more, you're gonna be eliminating it at one more turn, and I just don't know if it's worth it or not.
Could
Fine,
Brad
Justin.
use it?
Do what?
Could Brad use it as storage for right now?
Problem is
See the
the
ball
door,
diamond?
the doors are so small, that's kind of one of the
It's
problems.
north of the ball diamond. Drag down.
Talk about the one right there on the curve?
Go north, Justin. Right there. Right there, that's the EMS building.
Do we have full ownership, or does the county have any?
We
portion?
do, I thought the county had, but it's apparently us. I do have several parties who are interested in purchasing that. I've had several people contact me if we were interested.
I have the appraisals.
You have the appraisal? I thought Harold had an appraisal on it. I just didn't know if he see any advantage keeping it or not. I just don't want to own facilities pumping money and stuff that we don't need.
We want to get it back on the tax roll.
Yeah. That's the other thing, get it back on tax roll. We do need storage, but I just don't see that being a good viable facility for storage.
I mean, if we sell it, are we gonna, that takes us out of the equation of putting in a turn lane at the, again,
I can't
if
see
needed
this. I really don't see the need for that. After I've studied that quite a bit.
on the turn lane?
That was my original thought process, keeping it for a turn lane. But I just moved down south a little bit, Justin. A little bit more. Right there. That is a big enough turn for any truck if you needed it. And that I'm not for sure which way the trucks really come in
On
to go back
11th
to
Street?
service them. Oh yeah, I've made that with lowboy many times. And lowboy is one of the hardest things to make a turn with.
I think they'd have to go to 9th Street.
I think most of them go on 21st Street.
21st. That's where I think they do it 21st.
A lot of them from routes do take that route because we would see the mega loads going out, and that is the way they go out.
I've made that turn many times with a lowboy, and your axles are farther back with a lowboy. It tears slower.
I would not be opposed to it being sold, but I'd be very disappointed if someone bought it. The next thing you know, you've got cars stacked everywhere over there.
Well, that won't happen.
Well,
with
you,
Locust.
I think the two interested parties are the two neighboring parties. So
Wonderful.
I don't think they want
Well, then
cars
there's
stacked
three.
there either.
Well, then there's three interested parties because they got somebody that's not a neighboring. So I just didn't want some. I wanted your input on it before we did anything.
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
For what we get in selling it, would it actually probably be better just to maybe lease it for a few years to see what
They
the,
wouldn't put it back on tax rolls. Be good to put
And
it back on
the
tax
building
Be a
is not,
landlord.
the building, they'll probably tear the building
I
down.
really don't want to be in the business of leasing.
I don't want to be a landlord.
Careful.
Well, there's a lot of statutory regulations for the city
It's not
leasing
really-
property. It's really complicated.
I just want some input on it before we do anything. I'm going to present. It's really a council decision, but I want you guys involved in it as well. Because it does impact everything we do. I don't know if anybody had any ideas with it. Clint, you got any sad stories about selling that thing? You're not going to throw snowballs at us or something? Okay.
So the council is in charge of buying and selling property?
From my understanding, that's council decision. Okay. Thank you guys very much. I do have, get my organized mess put back together here. One last thing before I get done is, I do have the seat filled for our Board of Works. It's Rebecca Gibson. She has an associate's degree from Ball State University. She currently works at Howden Roots as a marketing specialist. She's been at Vistion and Eli Lilly. She was on the school board where she was served as president and vice president. She's been on many board committees. She's got a paragraph full of committees. She's on the Fayette County Foundation Board. She's on the Ivy Tech Community College Regional Board. The NAACP Life Member, Chairperson of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Annual Community Birthday Celebration. She's one of the directors of Mount Zion Baptist Church. Past affiliations, again, a long list. Phenomenal. I think she's going to be a good pick. She understands operations very well. The people on the school board that I talked to, there were some times when there were things happening and she really just brought everyone together and let them see the pictures, made it happen. So she will be filling the spot for the Board of Works. So Rebecca Gibson.
Let me make mention at this time that as president of the city council, my plan is to not seek to fill the two council appointments, not council position, that's a whole different thing, but council appointments until sometime in August, so that everyone gets acclimated to what those positions are and what appointments are.
Yeah, that might, well, one of those you might have to look at filling sooner, but we'll
Well, one of them is vice president of the council, the other one is EDG.
EDG. That one might need to be filled sooner, but we'll have to talk with Dan about that one. I'm not sure of the timeline restrictions on that.
Well, I think I mentioned that to him this morning. I may
You
not,
didn't mention-
may not
okay.
have.
That's all right. I could be wrong on that, but I think it might be timeline.
Okay.
But so she will be starting
Let me
with the
know.
next Board of Works. We didn't have time to do it today, so we're excited to have her on board. So, okay, is there any other miscellaneous business? Nope. Claims, Rosemary.
The claims for the city of Connersville is $304,660.06. Claims for utilities are $665,132.53. Payroll, $518,200.24.
Okay.
I had a couple questions on the claims.
Sure.
Okay,
On page 3,
of whose?
the utilities, just says City of Connersville for $82,934.
That was for the energy savings lease payment, their share,
For on the solar panels.
yes.
I thought the solar panels, if I remember right, were gonna be paying for themselves. Is this,
Well, a lot of those things, we made our first payment last July. None of them were up and going at that time. So they are now generating solar power.
or all of them?
Not all of them, no. They
They-
still have not set the
Next-
date for
next week. She
for-
called me Friday.
wastewater treatment plant has not been, they do have it. So we had issues of getting Duke to switch over. So that's delayed some of that. So hopefully, they'll get this money back tenfold. But I can't see that until everything's up and going and we have history on all of them.
One of the things, Duke approved everything. be careful how I say this. They approved everything, and then they got a new engineer that changed his mind, basically. So we've been, I don't know how long, I've been emailing Duke working with the local guy, and he's been really good with helping us. But it's been one of the engineers they've been working with, so basically all they gotta do is hook it up. It's ready to go, we just been waiting on them. We finally got that approval. She called me Friday and said that it was gonna be on, I believe that immediately this week, they're gonna flip the switch. So you'll be able to see that. You got the TV monitor out here. You can see what's happening currently now with the ones that are up and running. Which is kinda neat. You stand there and watch that. It's actually kinda neat to watch. But when we get that one going, this one you'll see the savings.
So this is one of the payments then? Is this the final payment, or is this the?
It is a 25-year lease payment,
Every,
6 months,
so $82,000 every 6 months?
their share.
Okay. So, I mean, when these
Well,
start generating.
we still had some left over in our energy savings account from rebates. So reduce the payment, we used the rebates first, and then did it, the percentage accordingly. And we will continue to monitor that and maybe adjust the percentage accordingly once we get all the facilities up and running.
So the wastewater treatment plant, we shouldn't see another 82 grand, hopefully in 6 months from now, or maybe the energy savings.
Remember, it's not money they're paying to Duke, it'd be money paying to us to pay the lease payment.
Okay,
So, yes, you'll still see probably even more next time. But it's just money they're not paying to Duke, they'll be paying to us so we can pay the bank.
okay, because it's just, when I see a payment going out, but I don't see the revenue coming in, it's hard to be able to know really if this is just a wash and it's going through the city.
Well, we haven't, been watching it or monitoring it that long enough to know the savings. Because it's not revenue coming in, it's money we're not paying out to somebody
Yeah,
else.
We're not paying Duke, we're paying the payment.
Okay.
So you'll watch the Duke payment go down, but you're gonna watch the other one.
Mayor, can I make a motion to approve the claims?
Yes, you
We have
can.
a motion
Second?
and a second. All in favor signify by saying
Aye.
aye. Any opposed, same sign. Man, they're all throwing me for curveballs today. Justin, get me out of here. Motion carried. Good thing we got our cafe today, Rosemary.
Yes, thank God.
Anybody from the public have anything for the public forum?
I've just got one thing.
Yes, sir.
My name is Bruce Byers.
Come on up to the podium,
Oh.
sir.
My name is Bruce Byers, and I'm with Butler Firm in Cypher, and I was here just for the awarding of the bid.
Yes, sir.
I've been with Butler for almost a year, but previously I worked for the town of Maryville for approximately 31 years. The last 6 as town manager, and the 12 before that as public works director. And the reason I say that is because the right-of-way issue that you showed up there, the first one, I dealt with that several times within the town. You were talking about procedure. This is what our attorney found out, and this is what we did. We had to notify, first off, we went out and got an appraisal. And then you had to notify the adjoining property owners by certified mail. You gave them 30 days to bring in a sealed, wasn't a bid, it was just a sealed quote. And we put a minimum amount on the property, and that was going to cover his fees and the appraisal fees. So in the end, it was a wash for the city, or in our case, the town. But then the adjoining property owner got what he wanted, and he got a piece of property.
That was our understanding.
Well, I think
Okay, I didn't-
under the law, it can't, you can't sell it for less than its assessed appraised value, though. If it has to be appraised, I can't remember it. I think it's only if it's a certain value does it have to be
Right, and I don't
appraised.
think those properties met that criteria.
Yeah, if it's
Because they were
less than-
subdivision properties.
Yeah, if it's less than a certain value, you
Yeah.
don't have to do that.
Okay, I just thought I'd share it with you, because it
That's
worked well for us.
Appreciate that.
But we
Thank
don't.
you.
Thank
Thank you.
Is it Cypher, by the way? Butler, Fairman, Sackford?
Seaford.
Seaford, okay.
Yeah.
I've always said Seaford, I think you said Seaford.
Oh, I'm big
I've been
now.
pronouncing that wrong this whole time.
I changed
Okay,
it up.
thank you.
Oh, and I've got the bids,
I do need those.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
so.
You can just set them there on the table, that's
Okay.
fine.
All right,
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else from the public have anything else to say? Okay, make a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
In a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Have a good day.